So, you're going to have a catapult effect here. And so, if you're going to do any buying, get in there and do it.
Today they're voting on hate crime bill S-909, also known as pedophile protection bill, as well as an anti-Zionist statement.
They try to attach that pedophile bill to another piece of legislation yesterday. I don't know how successful they were. Ted Pike was screaming and yelling about it. He was on all kinds of radio stations yesterday. And I don't know whether it was taken off or not. There's just some horrible stuff going on out there. I got another piece I wrote. I don't know whether I'm going to run it Saturday or Wednesday. It all depends on how much volume I've got. I think you got 47 pages today, and I apologize, but there's so much news out there, plus my commentary, and we're printing more letters to the editor than we have before because they're very informational. I mean, these are people who actually experience these things, and they're telling you about it. Like the fellow who they killed his credit card. I mean, it's typical. I had a half dozen like that. The banker or the guy who runs a corporation, and they cut off his line of credit just because they felt like it. What's a line of credit? I don't know, 20 million, something like that. I mean, I've been doing business with the bank for many years. And so it's a whole different world out there. They're going through the same thing in Europe as well. The banks aren't lending. And I think Europe's going into deflationary depression very shortly because they're not increasing their money supply. And you don't do that, you can't, keep your head above water. So I think the European Central Bank has decided we're going to go the classical economic route, and we're going to we're not going to expand M3 money and credit, and we'll keep the interest rates low and hope for the best. I think what they want to do is purge themselves out before anybody else does so they can climb into the market and take advantage of it. But they stand a great risk here because if they go that way, the euro could break up. So it's touch and go.
This question is in from Tim. When the banks report the second quarter for this year, when will they report? Will the government allow them to still use crooked accounting practices? And what should we expect to see when the banks report?
Well, they've already started. Goldman Sachs was the first one. And they will continue over the next month. And yes, they're still using the same crooked accounting that they were before. So their earnings, statements don't mean anything because they're all lies. I mean, that's the world we live in America today. And again, they talk about all these banana republics and all the corruption. I mean, all we have to do is look to Wall Street. I mean, they make the mafia look like saints. Especially when we find out that Dick Cheney had these clandestine Murder Incorporated groups. They were running all over the world assassinating people. I mean, these people are certifiably crazy.
According to, I guess it's pronounced Haaretz, H-A-A-R-E-T-Z, Haaretz?
Haaretz. It's a reporting agency in Israel.
Right. I knew it was from there. I just wasn't quite sure. Anyway, 2 Israeli missile carriers crossed from Mediterranean Sea through the Suez Canal in the last 2 days. Also, an Israeli submarine passed through the canal in June. Is this in preparation to Iran's attack?
I don't know. I wish I could be more informative than that, but I don't know. Haaretz is a reasonably good publication. They report the truth. Something unusual in the media today in any country.
And I want to remind folks, if you have any questions for us, to email them to discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com, discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com. So looks like the slow question day from the listeners out there. We got all the questions from today and from the day before. And let's see. Chavez made a statement today. I hope they do not kill Obama because Obama is biting off more than he can chew. Any comments to that statement from Chavez?
Well, I don't pay any attention to what he says anymore. He'll be out of power here in about 2 years, and it'll be game over for him.
So he's losing his clout?
Yes. He's probably down to 50% now. And next election he'll be in the 40s. He's just another communist dictator.
You know, I saw a headline where here in Pennsylvania, Governor Rendell said that the state workers should put a statue of him on their mantle because they can't get a budget passed here, and he's arranged for them to get loans with no interest. So because they're not getting paid, until this budget gets passed, and he's so arrogant to say that they should put a statue of him up on their mantle. He is one of the most
reprehensible.
Yes, thank you. You know what? People
this
are
is what
angry.
people deserve. The Americans deserve everything they're going to get. The people who know what's going on, like me and you and the listeners, we have to feel sorry for ourselves, I guess, because we really know what the problem is and nobody wants to listen. But America's and the rest of the world this time, they're going to all go down in flames. There's going to be no winners in this thing. And, you haven't seen anything yet. Wait till the stores are wiped out of food, and there's no trucks running the roads to bring more in. Wait till the law enforcement deserts their post for fear of getting killed or their family getting killed. It's going to be something else.
Have you heard anything more about those cyber attacks?
In Washington, in the Pentagon and that stuff?
Yes.
No, I have not.
Okay. And let's see if we got any more questions that have come in. Unless you have anything that you'd like to say, Bob?
I'm glad that it's nice in Pennsylvania today. Every place else it's 100 to 110. In Phoenix and L.A., they're cooking eggs on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I've done that. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton warned Iran today it only has a limited time to accept the Obama administration's offer for engagement. And she's really been out of the news for a while. She broke her elbow or something, but you don't see much of her.
Who's her?
Clinton. Hillary, Miss Hillary.
Yeah, I did see her with her sling. And, that's unfortunate. The one I was watching was Sotomayor. This is the woman who wants to castrate all white men. And that's a true statement, and I read the whole text of it. I mean, this woman is a certifiable nut. Member of La Raza. She's a racist. She's a communist. And the Elysian Society is not for straight women, I'll tell you that.
I had just turned on C-SPAN last night, and they were showing some of her inquiries, and an issue was on gun control, and she wouldn't answer the question because she didn't want to place herself in the position of answering this question now, when she is sure that that it will eventually come across their desks in which decisions will have to be made. So it was along those lines, and I thought that was quite interesting. She wouldn't answer his question, and
And she won't after she's appointed, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always good to have a Marxist in there. I mean, you know, they get things all riled up, and, you know, we'll have legislation now from the Supreme Court, as we have often in the past. The Earl Warren Court was probably the worst ever. And maybe she can, you know, beat them at it. But again, you know, this is what America wants. This is what America wants. They're going to get it. 85% taxation. You asked for it, you got it.
We are. And you know what? All those corporations and everything, they'll just move offshore where they don't have to pay.
That's right.